And today when we talk about the industry, where the industry is, I think this is where our connection is. That's where you get strength from. I will definitely talk about my journey, but first of all, I must thank. Before I thank, actually, I want to remember, people we lost this year. First, Piyush Pandey. I deeply listen to him, and God bless him. Where he is. We also lost Ram Segar, and we also lost Neil friends. So I want to start first remembering these people, and then head to you. Mr. Swami, when you called me, I know how genuine the call was. So thank you, Mr. Swami, Jaideep, Shashi, PK, and Suresh, who is always there with his now made up poetry also. And I think the past recipients who are here, Sam, I think Ramesh is here, yes. And I, of course, with you on the stage, with one. And I have been there for a while too. I think Madhukar, I remember reading the poetry I challenged you listening today, but thank you for changing your flight and coming. My family is here. Very rarely that my family, we really come to the industry functions together, but they are here. Both my sisters, and my nephew, Arastudia, my daughter, who just come back to studying, she just come, and now she'll get that, but she's here with us, and both my brother-in-laws here, Anu, very dear friend also, lovely human being, and Mohit, who's part of the industry, someone very talented and respected industry, and my wife, of course, my support system, someone who has always been bearing the brunt of being with me. So thank you all of them that they're here. There are friends here. I really, whenever I see, I will acknowledge them. If I don't, please. But I know all of you here deeply humble me and make me feel that I probably would have done something right somewhere. That it is not that it is Mr. Khandekar. After a long time, I've seen you. So, my friend Partho spoke from heart. He wrote in the morning, and then I got to read that, what he said, and generally coming from where our connection is. When I talk about my journey in Salam and centers of Perfetti, मैं अपने आप को आप जब किसी नदी के किनारे जाते हैं पहाड़ों में, तो आपको पत्थर पड़े मिलते हैं, और ऐसे पत्थर होते हैं कि आप हाथ लगाए तो ऐसा लगता है कि किसी ने ऊपर तराशा है। किसने तराशा? उनको ठोकर देते, वो लुढ़कते हुए आ रहे हैं, टकराते हुए आ रहे हैं, और इवन आउट होते चले जा रहे हैं, और आपको हाथ में लगते हैं, आपको लगता है कि सही पत्थर का तराशा। मैं ऐसा ही लुढ़कता हुआ पत्थर हूँ जो उत्तराखंड के पहाड़ों से लुढ़कता हुआ यहाँ तक पहुँचा, और मुझे उनकी फोटो ने तराशा, उन्हीं अनुभवों ने तराशा। Both my parents, a lot of people talked about my different sort of interests in life. One, I did a job, an artist doing a job, and also I kept on writing and pursuing. But Govind knows this, and we have spoken about this Thank you for being here. I had very rich childhood. Though both my parents were musically trained, but my father was an education officer, a civil servant. My mother was a pure artist. So I had loving parents, very loving parents, and my sisters also have gone through the same. And when you have such loving parents, you can't be rebellious. I can't rebel against loving parents. I can't take my guitar out and go out and say I will prove them wrong. Who is there to prove wrong? They are for you. So I had to manifest both of them. My father wanted order for me. My mother wanted effervescence for me. And I tell you, I found happiness. This is where during MBA, the Philip Kotler's chapter on advertising did the trick. It told me that there is something possible here where there will be a balance where both my parents will be happy about what he's doing. इसके पास नौकरी भी है और दूसरी तरफ से मेरी माँ ये कहती है ऐसा गाती रहती है जो she's a composer, she would have no interest in, and it is a very lovely father I had. Never expected my mother to be regular mother. I had an artist mom who was very keen to go to AAAI studio. She was a singer there and sing, and I wanted to invite both. And advertising, I'm so thankful that allowed me to deliciously poise myself into these two worlds. I was already published when I came to Felicitated, and I was people I worked under, and lot of very few people know I was Sandeep Goyal manager थे और मेरे प्यारे मित्र और वरिष्ठ नकुल चोपड़ा यहाँ बैठे इनको तो याद भी नहीं होगा कि कौन कहाँ आया है बट मैं ट्रेनी था Felicitated में under Freddie and Navin, where I first learned that how I can write copy. कविताओं की किताब मेरे पास थी, लेकिन कविताएं उस उम्र में सच बताऊं मुझे लगता था सिर्फ रिश्तेदार और दोस्त आपकी किताबें पढ़ते. And people don't buy poetry; they want like fresh air and water. होनी चाहिए, अच्छी चीज है, लेकिन खरीदता नहीं. So there was a real, question that what you would do with that. And at that time, what I realized, हमको इस इंडस्ट्री में कभी एक चीज नहीं बोलनी है. We're all kind of drifters in this profession. हम ढूंढते यहाँ आए. We are vulnerable people. We are fundamentally very vulnerable. When a creative person tells you a story, be patient, be kind. If that person is exposing something very personal to you, that person has taken something from his own life and had a courage to bring it out as a short story form in front of you. It could be his family, his friends, his relationship, something. Be patient. They are vulnerable, and I think that vulnerability is the strength of our profession. If we do become well-rounded as a profession, clients will stop coming to us because they are well-rounded, we are vulnerable, and that's how it works. And vulnerability is what connects with the consumer. Vulnerability is what makes you connect. So you will find that somewhat, if that is something you miss in becoming mammoth and big, I think that's the crux of our profession. I think after that I joined Ogilvy because I was a bilingual person, and Prahlad talked about it. Thank you, Prahlad, for what you said. But there was a danger, Prahlad, that people who are bilingual like me, actually bilingual का मतलब है कि हिंदी भी जानता है और हिंदी अच्छी जानता है. Bilingual का मतलब ये नहीं कि हिंदी और अंग्रेजी जानता है. Actually it means that the guy knows Hindi. And there is a danger that those days that you will be pushed as someone who will be stereotyped as Hindi, like कोई ब्रांड होती है, हिंदी ब्रांड्स भी होती है, अब तो नहीं होती, पर तो हिंदी ब्रांड है, and then it will come to you and your portfolio and your work will become very, very linear in nature, and that's not what I meant when I started that. Because when I was exploring, yes, I was using Hindi as a poetry medium, but I was not exploring very few subjects. I was exploring everything. So it could have, and that's the kind of winner where we had Suresh Mullick and Piyush Pandey, whom I am indebted to that I learned from them. And I was lucky and he was here. I hope he's here, and we were talking about it before. Suresh Mullick is the one I owe a lot because Rima decided me a few days back were talking about it. He used to seek me out. And he used to, I don't know, he had special interest in teaching me. And he told me that, listen, this, all these things you hum and sing and all that, these things are your strength. You can brief music directors with this. You know the rag. Why don't you? So he taught me how don't you use something which I already have. The fact that you know the difference. कि दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही क्या है और जी ढूंढता है फिर वही क्या है. क्योंकि जब किसी का जी करता है वो दिल नहीं करता है, वो जी करता है. There is one fine word difference. जी ढूंढता है फिर वही पूछ सकता है, दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही पूछ सकता है. मुझे अम्बिया खाने का जी कर, दिल और जी में फर्क. ये नुआंस सुरेश told me that you have this and you should, we need this in this profession. He told me that you know music, you need this in this profession, utilize it. And he taught me like a son. And Piyush, only thing Piyush will tell me that you write well, but you ज़्यादा लिखते हो, कम लिखो. Economics of writing, Piyush Pandey. That कम शब्दों में अपनी बात लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं. And you need to make it pithy, concise. And I practice it with him. So I will tell it to him as well. Many friends, on the other hand, used to come and again he taught me a lot, spent a lot of time with him. But he would come, contrary point of view. Long copy is not dead, keep writing long. So I had these two people talking contrary. But I think immensely powerful, learned a lot. Sanjeev Lamba actually hired me and Rajesh Rai. These are the people who I owe this to them that they let me do me. And there was a language person there, I must acknowledge him, God bless him, wherever he is. Satya Charan, who adopted me like a family. He used to sit in the Dandewal office. And I would get confused sometimes and go to him. He's an old man. But, really held my hand like a father. This profession, aisa hai. And he would tell me, he was a retired person who was heading the language department. I met a great friend, Zach, there. And we really talked well. So I remember him also today. And I met my life partner, Inu. So I am there to be that way also that I met a partner. And later on, I think the people, Parthoi, Coast, I met there. Bobby, he is a great friend of mine, writing wonderful and in the middle of writing a forward for his book. He's writing wonderful stuff he's writing. So there's a lot to come from Bobby. You will see it in future. So Bobby I met there. Sonala I met, who a long way. I wish we had met you earlier because we come from hail from the same place. Anil Batwal, I remember meeting great time with Anil. Costing, again, I remember meeting there. Kamal Vasu, who's here, we are working again. And Madhukar is here, Madhukar from there. Madhukar is for Kamila. So, such kind couple, we don't get kinder people in this world than them. But as he वृक्ष है जिसकी छाया देना उसको से कोई टूट के नाले लगे आपके सर पे गिरे so this is the kind of people they are. I'm very lucky. Ajay Kakkar was there. I hope not there, but great people. Hi, great. So I think great people I met here. And what I learned is देखिए बीज जो है बीज is programming, seed is a programming. The potential is in the seed, but the potential of becoming a tree cannot be realized without the sunlight, without the wind, without the पानी खाद जो उसको मिलता है वो नहीं मिलेगा मैं मुझे वो खाद और वो पानी मिला जिससे मेरे बीज के अंदर का जो पोटेंशियल था अनलॉक हो सके. And I started experimenting with songwriting. There a lot of people ask me that you do parallel professions. I don't want to be a frustrated creative person. I always want to express myself in whichever way I feel. So I express myself by what sweet group की album meeting, आपके साथ बनके मेरी बहुत सी चीजें रही. Because for me there is no difference between writing a song or writing. अब आप हैं उम्मीदों वाली धूप, सनशाइन वाली आशा. पोएम है कि सॉन्ग है एंड सेम टाइम आई राइट फॉर तारे जमीन पर तू धूप है झुमसे निकल ऐसा हम लोग बनाने के लिए गाना है ये वीडियो है. फॉर मी इट्स प्योर एक्सप्लोरेशन व्हिच आई फॉलो विद माय इंस्टिंक्ट एंड माय इंटरेस्ट दे फीड ऑन ईच अदर. दे एनरिच मी, they let me whistle and sound with life. They don't need a frustrated person who's feeling that काश ये कर रहा क्यों नहीं कर रहे सामने कलम खाली पड़ा है करिएगा. See the difference, only one difference is there between advertising, writing and poetry. Advertising का मुझे ये पता है मुझे कहाँ पहुँचना है. I know my destination. In poetry, destination is explored. So that's the difference, and I enjoy both. And then I come to Vigyan chapter. I know it's a long thing, but I have to say some names I have to really thank. I think from heading creative in Odilvi, Mumbai, it was the most happening office at that time. When I was presented with this opportunity to come and work in Vigyan and turn it around creatively, I had a little bit of tension in my head. And the thought came to my mind is, जब सितार जो है उसको भी तो कसना ही पड़ता है. टेंशन तो होता है. टेंशन क्रिएट्स म्यूजिक. ओवर टेंशन will break the wire. Less tension will make it limp. But the right amount of tension will create music. And that's what I try to do in Vigyan. जो मुझे स्ट्रिंग्स मिले थे उनको मैंने छेड़ना शुरू किया. I am very thankful to Santosh Desai, whom I met there and partnered in studying. Surab Mistry was there, Nikhil Nehru was there, Chinta was there, Sanjay Naik was there. I was trying to reach out to him, and Govind Pandey is there, who really partnered and helped and advised. So he's an eternal father anyway. So you cannot but become kind with him. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Manoj Singh was there when I listened. He's no more with us. Dilip was there. Ashish is there. Ashish is really twice we worked together. What a wonderful great person he is. Really lucky to work with him. Pratik was there. Partho again. whenever in doubt, reach out to Partho. So that's what I always do. Ashish Kananchi, Pradyumna is there, one of the most wonderful creative people I know. And we really had great partnership. We still have. Rahul was there, Rahul Vilchu, Puneet Kapoor, Akshay is here. How many of them are here? Rahul, Akshay. They're really lovely partners. I can't imagine that my life would have been anything without these people. And Puneet and Ramanuj, Denzel, and Raghu and Manish. I don't know, I think I saw Manish here. Abhinav, Jitendra Dabas, who's, I don't know whether here or not. Again, great partnership, great work we did together. Many brands and I keep on going. Prasoon, Saffola, Tata, Coke, Dettol, Nestle, Nescafe, ITC, Tower, Britannia, Perfetti. I have a little love for and weakness for momo brands. What I call momo brands is उनके पास कम है या शुरुआत कर रहे हैं या बहुत बड़े नहीं. मुझे लगता है कि ढोल की आवाज में बांसुरी सुनाएंगे और अगर ढोल का शोर है तो बांसुरी सुनने के लिए थोड़ा माहौल बनाना पड़ता है. बांसुरी सुनने के लिए आप चुप उस पहाड़ के अंदर कोने में बैठ के आपकी बांसुरी सुनते हैं क्योंकि ढोल का शोर में आप बांसुरी नहीं सुन सकते. So the brands which are getting completely lost in the show, I really have special love. And Perfetti is one such brand. Nikhil is there and he spoke to me. He's been there since very long time, connected. Then he became CEO and went out to become a big man. He's back in India now. But since then, Perfetti brands are special. That is Habitat, the LP, the tournament. Dadu is here who played such a big role in many of those brands. Thank you, Dadu, for coming. And Ram Advani, he came here and spoke in Hindi. And Ram is amazing. There's very few Rams. He can outshine himself. Every time I see him, he has broken the mold and a different Ram in front of you. Amita Ram, great friend. Really strength for me. And as he said, we connect beyond happiness or whatever work we have done. It could not have happened without him. It's impossible to do it. Nobody else can do it. Just him. And I think in Perfetti, there were AKD. I must take few names today and take your time. Now, वैसे देखिए मैं बिल्कुल भी ये सब नहीं करता. मैं कवि हूँ. मैं कुछ लोगों को पकड़ के कविता से बता रहा हूँ और उसके लिए हम लोग छोड़ते भी. लेकिन आज मेरा काम कुछ और है. Today I have to thank you. Otherwise I wouldn't have left you without giving you 10 poems. अब जाना नहीं देता. But this is also poetry of this career, and Series of Fire has given me this opportunity to actually, जैसे हिंदी में भावोद्गार कहते हैं, कि अपनी बात कह दूँ लोगों को, उनको याद रखता हूँ. In the time, Shripad is here, Shripad is very dear. It couldn't have been where I am without his support and partnership. Wonderful work we did together. Now you heard Suresh, you heard Nita, Varun after that, KK, Hemant you heard, Mohit you heard. Lot of people I really owe my journey to. The filmmakers, Ram, Dadu, Pradeep Sarkar is not with us. A lot of work I did with Pradeep. I miss him a lot. Another very special. Dadu knows that how special he was for us. And Sujit Sarkar, I saw Sujit today. Some of the most wonderful work we did together with Sujit. He is a master craftsman and see his work outside advertising also. So it's always a privilege to work with Sujit. Abhinay, Dave, Prahlad, though we work less, but amount of strength Prahlad gives to you. Now, amount of stature he gives to this profession is amazing. People know, and लोगों को अगर एडवर्टाइजिंग प्रोफेशनल दिखाना फिल्म में तो प्रहलाद चक्कर दिखाता है because he is quintessentially what our profession represents. Don't get Prasoon. Will not get, I think. Prasoon Pandey, Nokia was the first film which I really talked about, got converted from a radio spot. And he is right. हमको जब हम बच्चे होते थे रेडियो स्पॉट आसानी से मिल जाता था और फिल्म लिखने के लिए लाइन so it was first done in the radio spot and then it was converted into a film. I mean, wonderful work. I don't want to get into the nuance of it, but I have a great story there how Prasoon really lifted that. Rajiv, Arun here, Rajesh is here, and both of them working with us, Arun Gopalan and Rajesh Sati, both working. Rajiv Menon, again, one of the great filmmakers. And I've been lucky to partner with musicians a lot. B.D.R. Rahman in advertising, Shankar Mahadevan, Assam, Lloyd, Shantanu Moitra, Zuku, I don't know where Zuku is these days. What a great musician to work for an actor. We are indebted to Zuku. And I was lucky to have worked with Vedanath. I don't know how many people really remember that. Vedanath, amazing. Rekha is there. Thank you, Rekha. Great to see you. Learned a lot from Rekha. And the first when I started writing, I was in Delhi. And from Ad Club, I received a call from award I was winning. And Rekha was on the line. She said, "You wrote this Nokia spot." Wonderful. She made a call from there. I was a young copywriter who was getting a call in Delhi office. Now my phone I had access. It was a big deal. So that is what it meant to us. And I think the real test of our agency, and I have always felt that, is in the time of crisis. Years back, Shamantro Vishal had asked me to deliver Subhash Bose lecture, and it was about brands on fire and brands in crisis. I didn't understand that much at that time, but I was going through Coca-Cola's crisis, and we know how the pesticide controversy and I learned a lot at that time. That the brands at that time, how transparent they have to be, how confident and honest they have to be. Your real testing is in the time of crisis. Maggie, Suresh actually wanted to come and he had to cancel. But at that time, when Maggie was going through the crisis, people know that my simple thing to them is that you should communicate. You should remind the nation that you are a 100-year-old company. And you should talk to the mothers who are feeling treated as if they have felt something wrong with children. The transparency, the 100 years commitment, together we communicate. It was a multi-pronged approach. And that's the time we realize that real partnership it comes to trust. At these times, if you fare well, then you build a brand. Air India, again, I face the fact that you have to bring up, and you have seen now the campaign you're doing. It is trying to do that. And so I think there is one thing is about writing culture and one thing is about creating culture. You can write culture or you can create culture. India is a very continuous civilization. So both you and me have spoken about this. People have, experienced all kinds of thoughts in this country. They might be lying latent, but they have existed. So rather than being condescending and descending upon people and saying that आपको पता नहीं ये नई चीज हम आपके लिए लाए, ढूंढिए कहीं कल्चर में वो चीज है नहीं पहले से. Is the thought already there? It's just that they haven't. It's not been dialed up. So there is a difference when we just study the cultural report. We go there and find something which, and India is such a continuous civilization that a lot of things which have occurred to people, but not in few. So there is a difference between challenging people and saying you don't know, you should think like that, then saying that you know, you have forgotten. There is a different approach. I feel that striking that chord can make a big difference. Yes, I love being the lexicon of people, Dwara, Puchna, Paanch, whatever. I love doing that. But if you ask me what would I like to be born as, I would not like to be born as a creator. I want to be born as a creation. मेरा creation और मेरी दूरी है वो कई बार मुझे खुलती है. मैं अपना वो गीत बनना चाहूंगा जो लोगों के होठों तक पहुंचे. कई बार मुझे लगता है वो गीत कोई और है और मैं कोई और हूं. The oneness, one degree of separation from my creation, I don't want. I would like to be my own creation. If possible, then I would like to do that. I will talk about just sum it up. What I think about the future. I think the future, and I've taken a new role, and I look forward to that. I think the future is in collaboration. Future is in collaboration between humans and technology. I think AI is, for me, is an ally, an extension, more than an expression. I think today, when you talk about synthograph and photograph, a photograph means a reality has to exist for a photograph. A synthograph means I have to have the imagination, the reality can be created. Now, a lot of time we have seen a lot of ideas have died because they were not presented well or not fleshed out well. I think AI will make sure that we don't see idea infanticide. We will see a lot of fleshed out things people will be able to present, and that's, I think, is a positive thing. I think a few points to be careful about, that when we talk about unconventional and say AI will give us unconventional stuff, I think AI defines a big mass. For example, if you want to say, write about destination and travel, तो वो ये कह सकता है कविता में, सफर ही मंजिल है. Enjoy the journey. This is cliche poetry. This is cliche unconventional. I would never write that. I might write सफर क्यों करो जब मंजिल मुझ में रहती, तो सफर क्यों करो. So I think there is a lowest common denominator of out of the box. AI can take you there. AI can take you the accepted unconventional, not unconventionally unconventional. That's the fear we have to figure out. AI also can cut down process. A lot of our creative people love the process. The degree of separation from between creator and creation, I think that's also very easy. Hyper-personalization, अब मैं एक बात कहूँगा, we like hyper-personalization, but ask yourself, does consumer want that kind of familiarity? You have the data of the consumer. Example आपको देखा, आप घर में बैठे हैं, उस 10, 12 साल, 15 साल से गाना शुरू किया, बड़ा अच्छा गाता है, हमारे सारे दोस्त सुनते हैं, बड़ा अच्छा गाता है. आज गाना सुना, आप गाना सुनाने जा रहे हैं, उस दिन आपके बचपन का दोस्त भी आके बैठा है, वो आया हुआ है बाहर से, तो आप गाने वाले यार आपके सारे नए दोस्त आपसे कह रहे हैं कि गाना सुनो. बॉस। सो आपसे कह रहा है गाना सुनाओ, आप गाने वाले हैं, आपका एक गर्लफ्रेंड का दोस्त कहता है ड्राइविंग क्लास में पीछे रहता है, ये कहाँ गाना ना कहाँ गाएगा, he was using last yesterday only, इस बचपन में से क्लास से निकाल देते, अरे तू गाना है। Now this is not required, this data is not required, this data is absolutely unnecessary. I was about to sing a beautiful song, and for the last 15 years I have been singing. Now आपने 30 साल की पुरानी बात घसीट करके आपने तो मेरा कमाल कर दिया। So is this excessive data? Is this unnecessary data? Is it required? Does consumer want this much of familiarity? Or consumer wants you to draw a line that you know this much about? And I think we as creative people, when we sit together, we know that line. Knowing too much might not be the solution. Knowing the right thing will be the solution. And who will draw the line? The last thing is about where are you anchoring when you say AI is becoming so powerful? Where would we anchor AI? Who decides what is right, what is wrong? Which is when you are doing moment marketing, are you exploiting the vulnerable moments of the consumer's life? Who draws the line and says, no, this time this person is very vulnerable, we will not sell X product to this person at this time. And that can only happen through education, value system, and ethics. Uncle Chekhov's story I will end with, where Uncle Chekhov is a story about misfortune. The story has a woman who's married woman, and her husband has a friend who is interested in her, who likes her, but never approaches her directly. Tells the husband great, beautiful things, beautiful things, and this husband is very innocent, transparent, goes and tells his wife that, क्या बातें करता है वो, चांद ऐसा होगा, and this woman is getting impressed. What a beautiful man. और बताओ आज ऐसे पहन के कपड़े आया और फिर इसमें ऐसे गाना सुनाएंगे. He is playing games with her. And there is one day this woman is completely impressed and taken by this. And what Chekhov has intended, but I have been elaborating, is that this woman seeks a meeting with this guy. Because directly he is not meeting. And she says, I am completely taken by you. I know what you do. I am enchanted. But you know what? I'll go for the man I'm with. Because he has the innocence, and thus you have language. Now this call has come from anchoring the value system in some place. Where is that we are thinking AI is going to anchor us? So on the Chekhov story, I would finally say that yes, AI is great, but AI is all about what has been said, what Sunil said. I keep telling that सबसे जो खूबसूरत चीज हमारी है कि the human being is about अव्यक्त, unexpressed. जो कहा जा चुका है वो डेटा में है, जो नहीं कहा गया, जो बाकी है वो हम में है, वो अव्यक्त. सबसे सुंदर गीत बचा नहीं गया है अभी तक, सबसे सुंदर ख्वाब पूरा नहीं गया अभी तक, और वो ख्वाब ह्यूमन से भी डेटा वो ख्वाब को भी सर्कुलेट कर सकते हैं. मुझे ह्यूमन पोटेंशियल ज़्यादा बिलीव है. Thank you for listening to me. I have to say, I have to Gayatri is here, so something from Satyajit Jayati, Mumkin Hai. This is the point. And this probably also Dushyant मेरे फेवरेट पॉइंट है, कहते हैं आने वाला दिन कैसे होंगे, तो ये सब चल रहा है, एआई आ रहा है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, एडवर्टाइजिंग बदल रही है, तो कौन कहता सुराख आसमान में हो सकता है, एक पत्थर को तबीयत से उठा लगा। बंजर धरती के सीने पर अब सोचिए रेगिस्तानी धरती है, आपके लिए थोड़ा समझा, बंजर धरती के सीने पर पैर पटक के नन्हा अंकुर बंजर धरती के सीने पर पैर पटक के नन्हा अंकुर एक हरी सी जिद पर उतरे मुंह। बंजर धरती के सीने पर पैर पटक के नन्हा अंकुर एक हरी सी जिद पर उतरे मुमकिन है सूरज मुट्ठी के अंदर हो और दरारों से उंगली की झलक रोशनी फर्श पे निकले मुमकिन है। रात अंधेरी किसी सड़क पर एक लैंप के नीचे कोई सपनों के पन्ने पलटाए और तकदीर पे हंसता जाए मुमकिन है। एक मासूम सा कागज लेकर बना के कश्ती अरमानों की एक सफर पे चलते जा रहा मुमकिन है। हाथ बढ़ाना बादल छूना और निचोड़ के एक बादल से होठ भिगाना मुमकिन है। हाथ बढ़ाना बादल छूना और निचोड़ के एक बादल से होठ भिगाना मुमकिन है। एक सच्चे से सुर की उंगली थाम के बढ़ना और नवेली सरगम गाना मुमकिन है। बीचों बीच हथेली के नारंगी अंगारा रखना रूह तलक सुलगते जाना मुमकिन है। आने वाले कल की आहट दूर से सुनना और दरवाजे खोल के रखना राह सजाना मुमकिन है। घने दरख्तों के साए गुड डेज आ रहे हैं, घने दरख्तों के साए में पतझड़ की तकलीफ सोचना मुमकिन है। खिली सी धूप की रुत में सर्द रात की टीस सोचना मुमकिन है। And this is one nice expression I feel. जब कहते हैं चाँद पे एक बुढ़िया रहती है, but have you ever examined how she is? चांद पे जाकर बुढ़िया अम्मा का चेहरा हाथों में लेकर दर्द पूछना मुमकिन। झील में जाकर उसके दिल की गहराई से खामोशी की वजह पूछना मुमकिन। एक दीपक का तूफान से आओ खेले कहकर